So I had like a 3-week window, and then I just figured it out.
You get offered a UKF set without having DJ skills.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. I mean, I understand how it works, but I've never used a controller or like CDJs or whatever. But yeah, it's funny now that I think of it. I just had 3 weeks and I had to learn. I'm a music producer. As of now, specializing in bass music, I would say. I mean, I used to give that answer in a different way, maybe a year ago. I used to be like a drum and bass producer, but right now I think I'm navigating into the bass music aspect. I've started to play around with UKG, a bit of dubstep on the sides. In fact, I do have I have a release, a UKG release which is gonna come out really soon. So yeah, I've diverted a little bit in terms of how I want to present myself. So yeah, I'm just a music producer, and of course I DJ. I'm always a producer first, and then a DJ. And DJing was basically out of necessity. When you want to go to the places that you want to, you know, achieve or whatever, then of course you have to make the conscious decision of being a performer. So that's basically why I started DJing. And yeah, I'm always a producer first and then a DJ. Maybe an artist in a different sense. Yeah, just an artist, music producer, DJ, a creative visionary, if I can call myself that. But yeah.
Yeah, because it's been a huge journey to get here, and I do want to get into that a bit later.
Yeah.
But right now, the landscape is pretty wild, right?
In terms of music, yes, a lot of innovation, and underground music is going through a resurgence, I would say, specifically in the UK. I think we can ignore America for the time being, because the music scene is a little bit stale at the moment in the US, and I've seen most of the US artists move into the UK and Europe, to pursue music at the highest level.
Right.
But yeah, and in terms of the tech side, we have something vastly unwanted called AI, trying to use our data and make music. So
Yeah.
that is on the sides as well. But in terms of where the industry is at, I do feel as if it's in a really great place. Because there's so much of attention to underground music than how it was maybe 5-6 years ago. Right after the pandemic, it started blowing up.
Right.
Specifically genres like drum and bass, dubstep, UK garage has a huge audience across the world right now. And the cool thing about it is it still hasn't reached the mainstream market either. But it's still making huge resurgences all over the world in terms of festivals, in terms of places that those music never existed before. Like for example, Subfocus played at the Sphere in
LA, is it?
LA. It's not in LA. I think it's in
Vegas.
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 Yes.
Yeah.
So places like that, and I've we've been seeing a lot of pop musicians integrating with the underground genres as well. Specifically, guys like Skrillex. I think he has moved to the UK officially.
Right.
Because he's been hanging out with a lot of UK producers and MCs for the last few years. So I'm assuming he has based himself in the UK. So yeah, there's a lot of power shifts, and even for genres which are not electronic music per se, I'm seeing a lot of new talent coming out as well, specifically in our region. In India, there's like a few names which have popped up in the music scene as well. So yeah, overall I do feel as if it's in a huge trajectory, but there are places that needs to be worked upon, I would say, specifically in terms of this whole AI thing, which we never asked for. Producers never asked for this tool, and I don't think it's needed either. I mean, music is an art form. You get into music because you love that art form and the process. So why do we have to, use a computer and bypass that entire creative aspect? So that's what I'm thinking as of now. And in terms of a tool, it's quite sterile as well. I mean, there's better ways you can integrate tech and AI into the music making process. So yeah, it's a weird place, but yeah,
Yeah.
so it's all right.
And it's just kind of like a hybrid sampler. Like it's just looking at everything that's there and sort of making a
Exactly.
mush out of
Yeah,
that, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the way that they train data is, through the existing work of so many musicians,
Yeah.
and it's done illegally. There's no legal framework
Yeah.
protecting the artists
Yeah.
as of now. So yeah, and Australia passed a rule recently.
We just had a big win. Yeah.
Exactly, and then I think North America is following suit as well.
That's good to hear. Yeah, which is like banning big AI tech from just scanning everything.
Yes, all
without
the
any.
I think all the publishing associations signed something recently as well. So
Yeah.
it's only a matter of time, and I'm seeing a lot of lawsuits against platforms like Suno, for example, which is well deserved. And yeah, I mean it's not something that we asked for in the first place, and it's just basically tech guys coming across AI and figuring out that music is the easiest material that they can use to do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And that's what exactly happened. And most of these tech people have never been in the music industry, and they just have money and the tech. That's about it. They don't necessarily understand the perspective of musician, and it's sad to see people like Timbaland jumping into the
That's
hype.
right. Yeah.
I'm 200% sure that he got a huge paycheck.
Yeah.
And
And especially someone like him that's had like such a good connection with producers. Like he was always putting people up on his live streams, and then he does this, right?
what he did was he put up his live stream,
Yeah.
and then he got so much of producers on board to his platform, and then he used all of that music and gave it to Suno. That's what he did, and he got called out for that publicly. And if you look into like Instagram and other platforms, he got called out properly, and he thoroughly deserving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Extremely disappointed, but that's how it is right now. I mean, people do all sorts of wankery for money.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the situation right now, and there's no moral obligation whatsoever, specifically from people who should be who should be protecting the next generation of musicians. But that's how it is right now. And we have Spotify on the sides, which we can't seem to get rid of.
Yeah.
So
Although a lot of people are jumping. A lot of people
a lot of
They're
people
just
have
sick of-
started jumping, but
Yeah.
it's not easy for musicians who are just starting to suddenly boycott Spotify. But if you have a huge fan base, then you're in a position to leverage that and move out of Spotify, which is something that I've seen. People with a dedicated fan base, they've started navigating out of it. I mean, eventually I would like to do the same, but it's quite tricky, trying to financially uplift yourself, and at the same time it's there's a thin line. But hopefully my plan is to somehow get out of it, and I hope that I'll be in that position really soon.
Yeah.
It's just that creating that core fan base that's going to support you no matter what, and then you have the freedom to shift, because you know that they're going to follow you.
Yeah.
I love Bandcamp as of now.
Yes. Yeah.
And I do my purchases on Bandcamp as well. I don't necessarily use any other platform.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is like not that common a space for DJs to go to.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but in my world, I think most of us love Bandcamp. We've done. I did a compilation like co-produced a compilation with one of my friends called Pixies from the UK. We raised money for the Pakistan floods in 2022.
Right.
We raised over £20,000
Wow.
from that project,
Yeah.
and it was only on Bandcamp. We didn't do other releases. We didn't necessarily, navigate into other platforms. We raised £20,000 in like 2 months.
Yeah. £20,000.
Yeah, in 2 months. It was a great project, and so many people jumped onto it.
Yeah.
And it was only on Bandcamp. So
Yeah.
Bandcamp is great.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in my opinion, it should be a tool. It can be a tool that can replace a platform like Spotify. But it's just a fact that we need the buy-in from people who consume music, not just from the producers or the DJs.
Yeah,
We know, but it's just that it has to be common knowledge among consumers. And when the consumers shift,
Yeah.
Spotify can't do anything.
Right, right. I remember when a few years ago I was releasing an EP under. I've also had, different alter egos like you have as well, and was producing and releasing a live EP. And instead of trying to sell any physical media, I had a small little square kind of fold out artwork, and it had the Bandcamp code in there.
Yes.
And I remember like one gig, I think it was Hyderabad in particular, where I was saying people like, oh, you can buy the EP afterwards, and they're like, oh, how does it work? It's like, oh, you go here and you download
Scan the
this
code,
thing.
yeah.
People are like, this is the first music I've ever paid for.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to like have that moment and
Exactly.
provide that experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite tricky as of now, but if you're savvy enough, there's more than enough opportunities to, convey the music directly to the consumer without having to, go through a company like Spotify, for example.
Yeah.
But I think the shift will be here quite soon because, the labels that I'm working with are actively seeking for an alternative as well. But it's not easy like we assumed because Spotify has, they've cannibalized the entire streaming ecosystem. So it's very difficult to get out of it, but people are looking for alternatives.
And not just the streaming ecosystem, I find something about this recent stint that I did back in Australia was going to some, like Splendor in the Glass is kind of like our Coachella. When I went to the first one of those, I was like, my Spotify feed is alive. Like there's Tycho, that band that I listen to for my work focus playlist. And there's this other random streaming. And just, it was really observing both in the festivals and who is touring and who's touring where, particularly in the West, where there is more concentration of the market there and where streaming platforms have been around a bit longer. People were touring based off of streaming numbers. And And so
it's a thing. It's a thing. I mean, you need to have a specific amount of monthly listeners to break into certain markets.
Yes.
Specifically to like Australia and New Zealand, you need to have like 100,000 to 200,000 monthly listeners, just so that you're in a position to open that conversation. It has been quite weird. We like as a collective industry. I think people have started overlooking talent because of the numbers, because everybody's trying to look at the numbers, and we end up losing so much of talented musicians just because they can't come up with those numbers. So if it was the case back in the day, then we wouldn't have had so much of musicians who are prolific, who are like grassroots musicians who developed most of these genres that we have right now. And if they were in a position where they had to justify their existence based on a bunch of numbers, none of this wouldn't have been the case. But yeah, I mean, I'm quite self-righteous, so what do I know? So yeah.
So there's, the darker side of music industry with the AI and streaming giants and the big tech. But you also touched on good things happening in the scene. And a lot of those good things, as Skrillex is well aware, is happening and coming out of the UK. And there's there's streaming platforms, and then there's still like podcast sets or radio programs.
Yeah.
And something from the UK that you've been hosting recently is a Kool FM show.
Yeah.
How did that happen? What's that experience been like starting that?
It was fun. I mean, I think everything started with the music, of course. None of the things that I've done have stemmed down from any other perspective. Music was the commodity that helped me to open those conversations in the first place. And I've been doing a few, shows because, Solvent, one of the labels that I work with, so they have their own Kool FM show, and I've been doing so much of mixes there. And I think I got introduced to one of the programmers, and she was kind enough to get me on board, and then the entire team jumped on it, and yeah, that was basically how I got the opportunity. And yeah, honestly, I wanted to be a part of Kool FM for so long because there's a few programs from this region, maybe like a couple at most. So I wanted to represent the region in terms of bass music and specifically drum and bass. And I think the profile kind of seamlessly integrated. By that time I had a few accolades, so it was justified.
Yeah.
But I think music was basically the gateway in terms of being in a position to get those opportunities. And and then I got sorted and started the show last November while I was in the UK. And then I've done a year as of now.
Okay.
So it's a monthly program which happens on the first Monday each month.
Right.
And I have 2 hours as well. So usually you get like 1 hour, but I have 2. So I've managed to have like specific templates.
You start with a bit of chat and then go
a bit of
more
chat,
into
and then we move on to the music.
mix,
I've managed to have like industry executives, which was quite great. Sylvia Montello, Diluk Das. So Sylvia was the head of AIM, Association for Independent Musicians, and then for AFM as well. So yeah, she's been around for almost 30 years, and Diluk is one of the huge executives in the UK market as well, working with brands like UKF, Drum and Bass Arena, and he's Sri Lankan as well. So I managed to get them both on the show, and then I had guys like Mike Keys, Diggs, so many prolific producers, PVC, a great MC, Pawan from Foreign Beggars. So a lot of prolific musicians in my eyes. And it's been a year as of now, and I've enjoyed it. It was a learning curve, getting used to driving my own radio show, and I had a bit of help as well from hosts like Laurie Charlesworth, who has been around for so long, and I was able to watch her work. So a lot of guidance from Diggs, who has been doing podcasts for so long with Hospital, and of course with Diggscast. So a lot of guidance in that aspect. And I think right now I'm in a position where I'm much more relaxed. I know what I'm doing. But when I was starting, I had to prepare myself, write down everything, and then sort of read or whatever. But right now, I think it's second nature. I'm used to it. That was a learning curve for sure, but it's really enjoyable, especially if you're hosting from the RINS headquarters in London.
So is that how it started when you were over there?
Yes.
Right.
So
okay.
So they have like a really nice studio with like multiple rooms. Some of them are dedicated to RINS, and then a few to Kool FM, and then a few for SWU. So it's a nice spot for sure. It's in Printworks, if I'm not mistaken. The Printworks, the area. It's in Shoreditch.
Okay, right.
But it's been great, and I've been loving it, and hopefully I can continue this for the foreseeable future. I intend to do so as well. Because that voice, that the representation is quite important. And I've had three people who have contributed so much for the drum and bass scene in the South Asia on my show as well. Sagar Deshmukh and the Untitled one who runs drum and bass India, and then of course Smokey, who's like a really prolific DJ and a producer from the region. So I managed to get those people on board as well, because that's what it is about, shedding a light in terms of the underground music genres that I represent, but at the same time, giving a little bit of, shedding a little bit of light to this region,
Right.
which hasn't happened as much as it should have. So
Yeah.
I'm in a position to do that right now. So even with the compilations that we did earlier, we've had so much of producers from the region, including from Sri Lanka as well. I've had Noise Project on the compilation, and Aswajit and the gang was a part of that compilation as well. So yeah, I was in a position to get people involved from this region. So yeah, it's great to be in a position to have my own radio show and my residency. Yeah.
Which is a really beautiful, like when you've had a pattern of attention coming to you, it's a really beautiful process of being able to, it's like, actually there's this here and there's this over here. And I don't know if I'd use the words righteous like you mentioned, but I definitely see that ambitious energy in how you move into things, and especially the first time. It makes a lot of sense now that you tell me that your first episode was in the Rinse headquarters in the UK, because that's why we can hear Degs in person with you rather than down the line. And what a way to come out swinging, having Degs from Degscast and the iconic host of the Hospital podcast for so many years.
I mean, I've had Might Kiss, who runs Goldfat, and then he used to be signed to Hospital, and he's one of the most important people in my journey. And I've had him, and then of course Pixies, who's another producer from the same label, who gave me the first opportunity to release music officially with Headspace, a compilation that she did previously. So yeah, all of these people who have been a part of my music journey were on the podcast as well, which is, it's a dream come true. And then of course, legends like Pawan, he was, we had a really nice chat in terms of, how everything started, and he's been in the forefront ever since.
I didn't know the history of that name, and I agree with what he was saying about the two of you making a track called UK Flavor. There should be some honorary UK passports flowing through at some stage.
Exactly. I mean, it's crazy, to have him on my show. I mean, I remember the first time I was exposed to Foreign Beggars was 13 years ago when I listened to Skrillex for the first time. He had Foreign Beggars on Scary Monsters as Nice Prides, I think, the LP. And he did 2 songs with them and a remix as well. So that was basically my introduction to Foreign Beggars. And they are still this, legendary act, which included, Ebo, rest in peace, and then of course Pawan. Both representing cultures which are not the mainstream or the the marginalized cultures for that matter. And to have Pawan on the show was quite amazing, and of course to have a song with him was next level. I was so happy when he wanted to coin this as a Foreign Beggars tune. Because
your first UKG tune just came out of the gates.
And Foreign Beggars involved, and then of course Pawan with his insane lyrics and emceeing skills. So yeah, it's crazy, and but yeah, I mean, I think with the introductions and all of the labels that I work with, I get to these opportunities. I'm in a position to get some of these opportunities that are really cool. But yeah, sometimes when you think about it, it's amazing. Sometimes I'm too I'm too busy, making the music and trying to elevate myself to the next
Yeah,
level.
yeah.
You sometimes forget to look back and reflect
Yeah.
and tell yourself that this was actually special, But now that I think of it, it was. Yeah, it's one of my, most savored moments in my journey for sure.
Right, right. So we touched on the hospital podcast, and this conversation itself was arranged in a bit of an emergency
Of course,
form
yeah.
because there's been this mysterious, elusive tone to your socials recently.
Yeah.
You've been teasing at something. Some change is coming,
Yeah.
and a fellow DJ alluded me to what it might be. Then I was like, shit, we need to sit down and have this.
Yeah.
If you look on your bio right now, there is at the bottom there's a couple little flags.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm moving countries. I'm moving to the UK. And it's been in the works for a couple of years, let's say. It was not the intention, for sure. I mean, me and my wife, we both wanted to move to a different country. That was always the aspiration because we felt that we needed to see the world, and experience different cultures. So
Yeah.
we've always been in that mindset. Even before we were dating, for that matter, we discussed these things.
Right.
So going away was always in the card, but never the UK. It wasn't in the cards. We were originally planning to move to either Australia or Canada.
Right.
And Canada ended up being very close because we did the entire process. We did IELTS and then the VES evaluations. So all of that was done, and the only thing that was left was basically for us to, get registered on the government system and then
Right.
start applying for job opportunities.
Right.
We were on the PR pathway, but then 2023 happened, and we got this opportunity to tour and went to the UK, did a Europe run, and then a few other destinations as well. And then
your wife joined you for that whole journey, right?
Yeah, she was there.
Yeah.
So when we went to the UK, and after meeting people and after experiencing the culture, that's basically when we fell in love with the UK.
Wow.
Specifically in terms of music, the music culture was really great, and most of our friends from the music scene are also in the UK, and we felt familiar. We went about 6 to 7 times within the last couple of years.
Really? Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
because initially we went
After
for
that first major tour.
exactly, yeah.
Okay.
So did like 3 weeks first, and then went for the Printworks closing weekend, and then we did a UK EU tour for about a month and a half.
All right.
And then again last year November we did a tour. So yeah, about 6 to 7 times. So yeah, we know what to expect now. So, and it's familiar territory. If we move to another new environment, we'll probably have to adjust ourselves again from scratch. But in this case, we know people. We've been around these people, to lean on or get a little bit of help or whatever. So that kind of made us realize that UK might be our future. So yeah, then once we made the decision, we started going through the visa process, and then yeah, it happened.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you say we started going through the process and it happened, but it's important not to underestimate
No, it's hell.
the
It's terrible.
the power difference between having trying to enter a UK on the power of a Sri Lankan passport.
Yeah, it's not easy. We've had sleepless nights, health issues. So much work went behind, in terms of getting the visas, and then I'm going through the global talent route, which is not easy to get.
Right. Which is through your background as a business
musician,
analyst? As a musician,
yeah.
Wow, right.
So I had to have that profile to prove, and first there's an endorsement process. I need to submit a bunch of evidences in terms of my contribution as a musician to the UK industry.
Wow.
and the Arts Council gives you that endorsement, and once you get the endorsement, then you can apply for the visa.
Is there any precedent for that? Were you aware of any other Sri Lankan creatives or South Asian creatives
No
that have gone
creatives.
through that category?
No, I think I should be the first. But for tech side, I have friends who went through education and tech side.
Like IT, tech,
IT,
that kind of
yeah,
okay.
IT, and then PhDs and
Right.
research sides.
Okay.
I have a few friends who have gone through that route, but not in music.
So your is it a previous life as a business analyst now?
Yes.
Was that giving you much credibility with UK at all in this case?
I think it did because I'm qualified. I'm a SEMA accountant and I have a degree and I finished my master's, so I have that educational background and
Right.
the credibility in terms of working as a senior business analyst for almost 8 years. So
Yeah.
I think it definitely helped. And even in the process of applying for visas and stuff, I show those as evidences.
Right.
And assuring that I'm not just a musician.
Yeah.
So I think that background definitely helped. And in terms of organizing myself, strategizing myself, that knowledge and my background as a business analyst definitely helped because I was, working at a high demanding job in sourcing and supply chain at one of the biggest apparel manufacturers in the region. I think I can give them a shout, MS. So
Yeah.
I was reporting to the sourcing and supply chain director, and it was a lot of responsibility, and I was in a position to manage projects, contribute a lot in terms of financial analysis, reporting, and then of course managing my boss's affairs. So it was not just a singular role, so to speak, but it gave me an exposure to everything basically, every single nook that I had to look into. So that kind of gave me like a really good perspective in terms of how to manage myself or strategize myself as a musician.
Wow, right. Okay.
So it definitely helped, even with the visa process. I've done visas for other people, my boss, for example. So that those actually gave a lot of insights in terms of how to navigate myself as a musician. I love my boss, by the Prasanna. So he was really, really great as a boss. So yeah, even with me moving, I went to MS, my guys, and I said my farewells, met everybody. So yeah, we have a close relationship. So
Right.
yeah, it definitely helped
Right.
a lot in terms of the approach and yeah.
It's good to hear that side is helpful, and very interesting that it's not the primary way that you're getting your visa category over there. Because something I think I reflect on here is that if you've come up through MAS or John Keel's or something like that here, you go to a place like Australia, UK, they're like, MAS? What?
Yeah.
John what?
Yeah.
Like, my suspicion is that for like something as huge as John Keel's or MAS is here, and we know that they are international players as well.
Yeah.
But my suspicion in the West is you go over there, they're like, so what?
Yeah, it is the case. I mean,
Right.
because when you go there and when you mention the name Sri Lanka, some of them don't even know about the country. So that's the reality. I mean,
Yeah.
we think so high of ourselves when we live in Sri Lanka, but when we move out of Sri Lanka, nobody cares.
Okay.
So that's the reality. I mean, that's all right. That's how it is. We're not US or whatever, right? So that's the reality. But it's our responsibility to change the perceptions of people and make them realize that Sri Lankans are really great.
Right.
Yeah.
So about 4 years ago, when this, I guess the recognition of your work was a bit fresher.
Yeah.
You were saying something like, I don't, UK was like a distant dream, and you were of the mindset that like, oh, maybe if I can keep doing other work full time, then I won't feel the pressure to like commercialize my music. How do you reflect on that now?
I'm still in that mindset, to be honest.
Okay.
Even right now, where I've completely shifted to music for the foreseeable future.
Mm.
I still, I still lecture at Pearl Bay Institute as a senior visiting lecturer,
Right.
and I also mentor at an audio institute, an international audio institute. So, yeah, I've still got my bases covered, so that I'm in a position to pursue music creatively. That's always been the case, and even if I'm moving to the UK, I'd still be working.
Yeah.
And I don't know where exactly, but maybe in terms of the music administration side, or maybe education. Who knows?
Okay.
I will be doing that for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily shift 100% unless I'm in a position to do so. And since I have to start from the beginning itself, I have to begin from scratch in the UK. So
Yeah.
I will be working, and it'll be a waste as well if not. I've completed my master's. I did my research thesis on the UK nightlife industry as well. So I've done my fair bit of research in terms of consumer behavioral patterns of Gen Zs and how it's affecting the nightlife industry in the UK.
Okay.
So I've done a little bit of reading and research in terms of how the UK market is right now, and it'll be a waste if I don't use it.
Okay.
So I will probably work when I go there. I wouldn't necessarily shift 100% to music right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even in the foreseeable future, I would still want to work because I want to contribute as an educator or as a music executive. That's my dream right now, to be those aspects as much as I'm a musician.
Right.
Because that's how I feel, that I can contribute
Okay.
to the UK. Yeah.
Right. So taking those skills from corporate life in an executive corporation here and bring it into the music industry over there. Right. Because that educational role has played out here under a creative hat in Comic-Con as well recently. You were giving
I
a
did
workshop
a
there.
small workshop, yes.
Yeah, that was on soundtracks and
Yes.
for
Soundtracking.
film and gaming, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm exposed to the publishing side of music as well. So, yeah.
So is there a lot of like compositions of your work that don't that do find a place in games or in films that we don't necessarily
I
hear?
did the official theme for the T20 cricket jersey for the World Cup.
Right. Yeah.
So I did that theme. They did like a really nice video out of it. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
And then a few short
Does that
stories.
get credited as you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So a few short stories here and there. And next year is probably going to be a bit more bigger and a bit more bolder in terms of sync side of things.
Right.
I can't talk
Yeah.
about them right now.
Yeah, it's often locked down
But
in those things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's major in terms of next year.
Mm-hmm.
We've already done like the groundwork and the contracts and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's coming out next year towards the end, I would say. But yeah, there's going to be a big announcement
Okay.
next year. Yes.
Okay. Right. So watching this space.
Yes.
I want to know more about this UK move because it can't be understated what the administrative tasks are, but then also like your life's in boxes right now, right?
Yes, we're packing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But it was surprisingly easy because I told you before, me and my wife were in that whole let's move one day kind of a mindset.
Yeah.
So we had a very minimalistic home as well. We didn't have too much furniture, just like a nice couch and then a few bean bags. So it was quite easy, packing everything.
So you're shipping a bunch of boxes? Or?
Yes, later on we should be doing that.
Uh-huh.
But for the time being, just a few essentials that we need to take for ourselves and for our two cats as well.
The cats are coming with?
Yes, so we're taking them with us.
Do they fly in a little thing on the plane?
They have two crates. So we've got these crates and we've trained them to those crates.
Oh, okay.
So we
Yeah.
assembled them a few months ago.
Wow.
And now they sleep in it.
Okay.
So they're used to the crate.
Right.
If not, it's going to be quite shocking and it's a long journey. So
Yeah.
we just
okay.
want to make it comfortable as much as we can.
Right.
Did
Did the UK want to know their whole health history as well? Like,
Yes, there's a huge process. But we finished that process a few months ago
Okay.
because it takes 3 months after everything is confirmed for them to fly to the UK.
Yeah. Okay.
So we started that process well ahead, and we got the approval. And once that was taken care of, then we started our visa process.
Okay.
And by then, I had to work on like a few documents, and yeah, that's how it works.
I see. And what does it look like? So the move's coming up in a few days, right? What does it look like when you land? What are you walking into?
Airbnb.
Oh, really?
For the first month, yes.
Okay. And to look for a rental?
Yes. Then we're
see.
going to look for a rental, and then of course, there's a few friends who will help us.
Okay.
In terms of finding a place.
Wow.
So that's kind of like the plan. I wouldn't think it's going to be too bad because, we've heard, we started looking at rental places and we started emailing most of the property developers.
Okay.
And we heard back from all of them.
Right.
So there's places, it's just that figuring out where exactly.
Yeah. And are you trying to enter the London housing market itself, or where are you?
Not central London, but towards the outskirts.
Okay.
We don't necessarily. I'm not too keen living in central London because we're going to a nice country, so I want to enjoy a little bit of the countryside,
Yes.
and to have a bit of a bit of a nice environment.
Yeah.
So I'm not too keen in terms of moving to the central London, but
Okay.
just close enough to
Just on the fringe, you can
on the
kind
fringe,
of feel
yeah.
it pulsing.
Exactly. So that's kind of like what we're looking at right now.
Because that's a mega world city, right? Like, so even the fringe is pumping.
There's everything,
Yeah.
from eateries to like mega supermarkets.
Yeah.
Everything is there.
And your public transport's good.
Exactly, yeah. As long as you're in the close vicinity to the central,
Yeah.
the center part of London, that's what matters.
Right.
Even when we went there, we've always been in the north. We've been in North London, towards like High Barnet area. So it's like the edge of the underground. Beyond Barnet, you don't get the tube.
Uh-huh.
So we've been on the edge and we've
Okay.
loved it. It's quite, chill and, calm.
Right.
Not quite as busy as, maybe somewhere like Shoreditch or, Oxford or wherever.
Right.
So we're in that mindset. And we've been running around for almost 3-4 years now. So, and we've been
In
working so
preparation.
hard. We've been working, as well. So we just want to take a little bit easy once we move.
Okay. So you're not landing straight into like another 9 to 5.
Exactly. I mean, we talk about, the rat race.
Yeah.
And I so badly, want to distance myself as much as I can. And, we're talking about, elevation of quality of life, and it has to happen, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the quality will improve, when you're a little bit far away from things, and you have space for yourself, but at the same time you can enjoy the luxuries in the UK.
Yeah.
That's the mindset.
And something with your kind of the unique connection that you've had with that place, like 5-6 trips now.
Yeah.
You're going in eyes open, so it's not like I'm migrating to Aussie and I'm going to land and try and find a job, and then how's it going, Machang? And then I'll end up working for Uber or something, right? So
Exactly. So I have that luxury of being exposed to the ecosystem, so I know what to expect.
Yeah.
Even if it takes a few months or whatever to find a job opportunity, I'd still be able to find a few part-time opportunities at least, because I know what to expect. And the job market is a little bit weird in the UK. I think it's the case universally as of now. So it might take a little bit a while to maybe find a job opportunity, but that's all right. I'm ready to go through that process, and since I'm working remotely, I have that support as well. So it should be all right.
Right. So there are supportive people in our lives as creatives. There are supportive partners, and there are like number one fans by your side
Yeah.
partners. It seems like your wife is
Yeah.
the latter there.
Yes.
What's her? She goes as what? Beats by what's her?
Beat Factory by We. So
and her name is.
so her name is Wimanti,
Yeah.
and she's a choreographer. So she's a
Okay.
wedding dance choreographer. She's one of the
Right.
best in the country. I think not one, she is the best.
Yes, gas her up.
Yeah, because she's one of the pioneers in that niche.
Right.
She started about 10 years ago,
Okay.
and now she's done about 800 couples
800
or more. I don't know. We've lost
Wow.
count.
Cool.
For the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And she's one of the pioneers in the wedding dance industry.
Okay.
And she works with all the big vendors.
Right.
And
So she's hoping to blast into that scene over
she's
there.
going to do the same over there as well.
Okay.
That's the intention. And of course, she has other interests as well, which she wants to pursue. Maybe learning a little bit of dance, and then she wants to get into like content creation in the music niche as well, because she does all my content. When we travel,
Right.
yeah, she's the one who takes all the videos and photos. So she wants to pursue that aspect as well.
Okay. Okay.
It's gonna be fine.
Right.
It's gonna be fun as well.
I want to shift gears now a little bit into your past and something that you mentioned about not wanting to be right in the center of London and sort of be on the edge and like maybe be arm's length from the countryside. Reminds me of that you didn't always live in Colombo itself or Ratmalana side. You lived more outside on the hillside. And something that I feel like, particularly in your early tunes, there was quite a representation of your love for hiking.
Oh yeah. So I'm actually from Colombo, but towards the outskirts again, or towards Battaramulla and then Koswatha.
Okay.
So that area, and it's very calm,
Bit greener
peaceful,
over that side, right?
very green,
Yeah.
and then at the same time, not much of noise whatsoever. A few friends who visited me went mad because it's so empty.
Right.
And so silent in the neighborhood. So they were like, what the hell is this?
Right.
And one of the guys were from I think it was, he's from close by to the Premadasa cricket stadium.
Okay.
Valavatta.
Right.
Is it Valavatta? Yeah, whatever. So he lives close by to the cricket stadium, and he couldn't take it. He was like, I'll probably go mad.
He's
it's
just used to that background
yeah,
level of
he's
noise.
always used to that background noise. So
Right. Which is something that like South Asians talk about when they move to like a Western country, right?
Yeah.
It's like suddenly it's like quieter, but you can get it just over there.
yeah, so I'm used to that quietness anyway. And of course I love hiking. Even sadly we couldn't do as much as we would love to in the last couple of years, but once we got married, we've been to Kandy a few times. We visited a few nice places, and then we went to Piduru Talagala. Was it Piduru Talagala? I think we went to one of the places. I can't remember the name exactly. Was it Piduru Talagala? It's one of the highest viewpoints in the central part of the country.
Right.
And by myself, I've been to like the Knuckles mountain range. Quite few times, because there's areas of Knuckles as well. Not just it's not like you have this place where you can go to, but there's like a million places that you can go to within the mountain range. So I've been in and out. We've camped in Knuckles for quite some time, a few times. So I've always been, inspired by, calmness, and then of course, the mountains, because that's a nice, exercise at the end of the day as well, but with a view. So we've always been, suckers for views. But a little later on, we discovered the beach. We went towards Hirikatiya, and that's a different version of calmness,
right,
that you get to experience in places like Hirikatiya, for example.
And you, the kind of impetus for that was some of your patterns of touring there and playing there more regularly, right?
Yes, tracks has been a regular venue, and then of course Dots I played once as of now, and then did a residency at Smoke and Bitters. Yeah, and then another spot in Ahangama called Black Honey Cafe. We did a residency there for a few months. So yeah, been around the down south belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was it Knuckles area where you went to a temple that's not really publicly accessible? And did that have an influence on one of your earlier tunes? Is that right?
You mean Astramma? That's the
Yeah.
tune. Not a particular place per se, but in general, the vibe,
Yeah.
the monastery kind of a vibe.
Hmm.
I think it was, I can't exactly remember.
Something, was there a foreign monk that doesn't let everyone?
Oh yeah, so that's called Hillside Armitage, if I'm not mistaken. That I actually discovered it through Instagram because I think he was living here for quite some time, and he had a few dogs, and he actually took them with him when he went back.
Right.
So that kind of inspired me, and of course, me being to Knuckles quite a few times inspired me to create that tune.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a shame you're heading off because this time I've brought over a bunch of my hiking gear this
nice.
time, and unfortunately, in the last few years, I've been much better at collecting hiking gear,
Okay.
secondhand hiking gear in Australia than I have actually been going on hikes, and it's.
Have you been to Knuckles?
I've done one overnight trip around there, and I've got a memory of this incredible waterfall with like roots going
Oh,
down.
Duilialle.
Yeah.
That's the longest hike trail in Knuckles.
Right.
Yeah, we did that, and we
Yeah.
camped there 2 nights
Okay.
as well. Yeah, that was incredible.
Luckily, we had some like local crew with us that
Yeah,
helped us slash our way back because the
Yeah.
route back wasn't like the the condition.
But
that-
it's honestly one of my favorite places to be at.
yeah.
The mountain range, and of course the waterfalls.
Yes.
Every now and then you find something. Yeah, it's quite amazing, and
Like a waterfall you can camp behind.
exactly.
Like what?
Yeah, and they've created like a nice space for you to put everything, cook, and then
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And and it's such a great destination in terms of hiking for sure. If you want to get around, there's a few really famous hikes. The Pekoe Trail,
I've
which is
been
quite
hearing
famous.
about this.
Yeah, you need to do that.
Okay.
It's very famous, and it's probably one of the most picturesque hikes you can ever do in the world.
Okay. Right.
I think they got a ranking as well in the first 5. I think it's the number 1.
Okay.
Which-
And is
which-
there little huts along, like, so you can
Yes.
just go quite light?
Exactly.
Oh, look forward to that.
And the trail is online, so
Okay.
you can download it and just you
you
can
can
do it by
follow-
yourself. Yeah, you can just follow the
Okay.
trail.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be people who are going to help you. It's not like you're walking into the jungle or whatever.
Right.
Because it's you're walking through like a tea estate.
Okay.
So there's going to be people who are going to guide you and all of that. That's one of the things that we want to do. We couldn't afford it. It's a little bit expensive.
Yeah. That's right.
But we want to do it. Hopefully, at least in the next couple of years when we come back.
What do
wanna do it.
what do you see the cycle of you being able, like, so you've been doing a bunch of UK trips with a view to which has sort of sparked this mission to move
Yeah.
there. What do you feel like the balance might be, the cycle the other way around? Like once you move, you might come back once a year, or
Yeah, probably once a year, or
yeah.
hopefully, maybe visit other places as well. Because you get the freedom to, do like 180 days outside of the UK. So I'm not. We still haven't decided anything, but we're coming back May next year because my wife's brother is getting married. So we're gonna be here for at least a week next year. But hopefully in the preceding years we'll probably be able to visit, or we're gonna bring our parents to the UK. So yeah, it depends.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I share this thing with you of like coming from a musician background, playing heavier music, and coming from metal, and then finding my way into drum and bass from that side. And before looping, I was a drummer
Yes.
in bands.
Yes.
And,
I know.
yeah. And so you were a bass player in.
Yes.
So is Constellation still active? Are they going to be missing you?
It's not active because all of us are not in the country. I'm the
Right.
only guy
Oh,
in the
so
country.
you've
as
become a
well.
true Constellation.
Exactly. So Ishant is in Dubai. He's working as a creative in Dubai.
Yeah.
And Dihara is in the UK. He's working at AMD as a senior research engineer, if I'm not mistaken. And then
Right.
Aseka is in Italy, finishing his PhD. And Shehan, who's the rhythm guitarist, is in Australia. And his wife is finishing a PhD. So yeah, each and every one of us are in like different places as of now. But we want to continue it as a studio project. That's the aim.
Okay.
So I'm moving to the UK, and Dihar is in Hemel Hempstead. So there's going to be, if we can manage North London, it's going to be really close
Right.
for me to travel.
Okay.
So hopefully we can continue it as a studio project.
So
That's a plan.
When you say it's a studio project, is that like notionally in a production sense something like a Tame Impala direction, or like where you're
It's going to be an online project,
Yeah.
We're going to finish music and release, that's about it. No
Okay.
live performance.
okay, and
Yeah.
like leaning into more production basis
Yes.
than live drums and things like that, or a bit
Yes.
of both? Okay.
I don't think we'll be able to do live drums because it's expensive.
Yeah.
But I mean, every single hit that was written in the music are playable. So we make sure that it's playable.
Okay.
Except in one song, we have very fast song as well.
Right.
That's a little bit unplayable at this point, but yeah,
Right.
we usually make sure that it's playable.
So perhaps you're already in your business analyst career and you're playing bass in a heavy band, minding your own business in that way, and then one day a friend shows you is it a Skrillex collaboration with Korn?
Yes, so that's basically how I got into electronic music. I wasn't a part of Constellation back then.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I joined them in 2016.
Right.
But
You were already playing bass?
I wasn't.
Oh.
Yeah, I wasn't. This was in 2012, and one of my friends showed me this collaborative project called The Path of Totality. That's an LP Korn did with a bunch of dubstep artists. They had Noisia, they had
Yeah.
Skrillex, they had 12th Planet, Alvin Risk, and Feed Me was there. Excision was there. So a lot of, I think Kill the Noise was there as well. So a lot of, all of these dubstep guys were on that
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
And that kind of gave me like a really nice perspective in terms of merging heavy music with electronic elements. So that's how I got inspired in the first place. And then, of course, I started listening to dubstep, and I was introduced to dubstep. And that's basically how I got into electronic music production, because I wanted to make dubstep. That was in 2012, 2011. And then later on in 2014-15, that's when I got introduced to drum and bass. I never heard a drum and bass tune ever before. And I think I was listening to Knife Party at the time, and I loved the production value of those tunes, and a little bit of research in terms of who the members are.
Yeah.
And then found Rob and Gareth, and they had a project called Pendulum. Previously.
Knife Party was the sort of next generation of Pendulum, right?
Yeah. So I went and looked up at Pendulum, and the first tune I heard was Watercolor, and then it instantly clicked.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I've been making drum and bass. That's the story.
Right.
Yeah.
Which was
2016, 15.
So 2012 the Skrillex dubstep time, and then 2016 moved into drum and bass.
Yeah.
And initially you started with Neuro, is that right?
Yes, Neuro, and then the heavy aspects of drum and bass, because I'm navigating into drum and bass from a metal background.
Yeah.
So it made sense for me to start with Neuro. A few heavy tunes on the sides, mostly heavy. And the switch kind of happened after the pandemic, which was basically when I shed my old alias and created the new IYRE alias. So that's basically when the shift happened. I started with liquid, and now I'm in a position where I'm dabbing into like the minimal, deep side of drum and bass as well, not just the liquid side. A bit of both, because I idolize producers like Halogenics, Alex Perez, Monty, for example. So those guys are navigating into those niches as well. So naturally, I got drifted towards the minimal, deep, and soulful side of drum and bass. But yeah, now I'm into those niches, if you will. And I think for the foreseeable future, I would still make those genres, because I'm a little bit serious in terms of music making right now. Because my mood is a little bit serious. It's not playful enough for me to go to the dance floor side of drum and bass or neuro or jump up, for that matter.
Yeah.
To make those genres, you have to have that fun energy, like a motor.
Yeah.
I don't have that
In you.
yeah.
Right.
In me, even if I try to force myself into making those tunes, it still ends up being quite dark, deep, mysterious. So that's my vibe. And I'm just playing to my strengths at this point.
Right.
Doing what feels natural. Because I have to enjoy the process first and foremost. If there's no enjoyment in what I do, if I have to force feed things just so that I can get into a lineup or maybe get to X number of monthly listeners or whatever, that doesn't feel natural. So yeah, I'm just focused on being the best artist that I can be, and hopefully people like it. That has always been the mentality or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I was interested in that you started with the neuro and had this progression towards the more liquid side, but yet kept those dark elements, because before I even knew it by name, I was a neuro guy from like some 20 years back, because I got introduced to it from this free party scene that we had in Sydney on Gadigal land, and we would be a small crew putting on like a live band stage, and there would be this other crew, DSS, which had this absolute wall of sound
system,
wall of subs, and it was an intense process, like running in there, putting on an illegal rave, like plugging bands and doing all the tech and everything. And so after we would set up the truck stage, it would be all this like, get it done. And like after we do that, I'd go over to the DSS sound system just to like get some, like just hype up again or get some energy out. And I didn't even know what the genre was called, but like for years afterwards, I couldn't listen to any other normal drum and bass because like it just didn't have this thing that Neuro had.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love Neuro. I listen to a lot of Neuro, and I'm on most of the promo lists of quite a few really good Neuro labels out there as well. So I get to listen to a lot of Neuro, and depending on the festival, the nature of the festival, I would still drop one Neuro tune occasionally. I'll play that Let It Roll, and Let It Roll is known for its Neuro, so I drop a couple of tunes. So yeah, it depends on where I play, but on a producer standpoint, I would mostly be focusing on my own niches, but I love Neuro. I love Noisia, and a lot of new gen producers, labels like Eat Brain, Vision Recordings, and then Evolution Chamber, which incidentally is run by half Sri Lankan as well, which is crazy.
Right.
I didn't know. So all of these labels that I'm exposed to, and they have really good Neuro tunes. So naturally I get to listen to all of these demos. It's not that I hate Neuro or whatever. I love Neuro. It's just that on a producer standpoint, I'm in a different place right now.
And for me, like, and I love that you keep highlighting these South Asians and brown folks that have been there, because there are some folks that have been around. Like they may not have been seen in their brownness, in their South Asianness, but they've
been
and particularly like moving to a place like London, got such a strong South Asian community, and folks that have been there. There's stories of like day raves that South Asians used to have in London because the
daytimers.
But for me, coming from being a Neuro guy, my initial takes on a lot of Liquid was that, oh, that's kind of like drum and bass light, or that's like the music I would like put on to focus and work to.
That's correct, yes.
But my guy, speaking of like finding brown people in D&B, I was rolling past this venue and I heard a bit of distant D&B, and I went around the back and went into the bar, and I was like hearing it coming from one speaker. There's no one there. I was like, what's going on here? Like this D&B just like blasting through one speaker. What's going? They're like, oh no, it's down there. It's in the basement. And I went down into the basement, and there's like people fucking raving out in this basement, and there's like really hard, heavy D&B going on in this little rave room. And I get to the booth, and there's a brown dude with a beard looking back at me. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, just to see yourselves represented in those moments. And then after the set, I was like, dude, who the fuck are you? Like, and we just became like good friends. And shouts to Recon, because he put me onto like this darker, edgier Liquid, and I hear that in your
there's an edge
sound
to
too.
there's an edge to Liquid as well. I have a few, moody. I think the best way of explaining my texture of music would be moody. I do have a moody kind of a flavor. That's what I make. I make moody music. But Liquid has a really dark edge to it as well. There's tunes that go off even if they're categorized as soulful or so that has always been there. And then there's a whole sunshiny aspect to Liquid as well, hopeful, bright in terms of the texture, but then there's like a very serious, deep, moody sort of Liquid as well. So there's moods which dictates all of those genres. But
it's been quite surreal for me to see over the last 15, 20 years an emergence of D&B from the shadows into the Australian club sphere.
Yes.
So suddenly, like, you see a lot of it out there, and you see the more popular things like Jump Up and some of the more...
I think the Australian and the New Zealand market are second to none from what I understand.
Yeah.
And there's been really good producers from those regions as well. But at the same time, New Zealand in particular, they kept the drum and bass scene alive during the pandemic.
Right.
They were the only country who were open and they were raving.
Right.
And most of these
jealous.
Exactly. They brought down all the UK acts to New Zealand and making sure that things kept afloat during the pandemic when the whole world shut down.
Yeah.
And most of the big artists in the scene constantly tour New Zealand and Australia as well. I would love to do the same in the future. So it's a great market in my opinion, and so many great producers. And then of course Alex Prins is based in New Zealand, so a few people have actually moved there. It's crazy. And I think in general context, a few regions have started creating their small scenes. Now, for example, India has a really great scene as well. Revolving around Bangalore, Mumbai and Delhi. Specifically Bangalore. Bangalore has a really big scene. Particularly thanks to this one promoter called Drum and Bass India, the untitled one, Shouts, of course. But every region seems to have these little bits and pieces of collectives which push bass music and drum and bass. And I've seen the small European countries having like small scenes or whatever, and then South Africa have like started budding scene. Kenya has started budding a scene because of close associations with Degs, and he's been to the country. He took Unglued with him to Kenya.
Yes.
And I think a few others are in the books as well. So these places, these small countries with small scenes or whatever. So all of these places seem to have small scenes in their isolation or whatever. Even in Japan, there's like a small underground drum and bass scene. I've seen so many countries. Mexico, you know, Canada has a really nice drum and bass scene up there. The US has started budding a really good scene as well. They have so many great producers. They have good rosters, and they, of course, they're bringing in the UK producers to the US as well. So kind of like an exchange program or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, the whole world has a resurgence, and there's this pocketed communities of people who are pushing the drum and bass sound in the world. That kind of happened after the pandemic,
Right.
but it's in a good place right now.
Okay.
You can find gigs pretty much throughout the entire world, even in Dubai. There's small collectives. In Singapore, I did like a gig in Singapore out of all the places. Small promoters who are pushing the sound,
Right.
and it's great. And like when people from the UK, producers and DJs from the UK travel to Australia and New Zealand, they do runs in Asia as well now. They go to India, they go to Singapore, maybe Vietnam, maybe let's say a few adjoining countries for that matter. And then they do this whole South Asia plus Australia, New Zealand run.
Right.
So that's how it is right now. Bali, out of all the places,
Yeah.
they've started building a drum and bass scene as well. So now there's more global exposure, I would say, pocketed in certain places, but it's there. It's there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I want to take you about 3 years back, where it's probably a bit unusual for UKF to ask someone to do a DJ set, and there's a key piece of equipment that they need to buy. What was that?
Oh, the DJ controller. I've never owned one.
Right.
I had to buy it just so that I can play for Future Vision. So I got it about 3 weeks before I had to record.
Yeah.
And then I just taught myself how to DJ. That's how it is. Yeah. So I had like a 3-week window, and then I just figured it out. Blah blah blah, and then yeah.
You
and
get
then,
offered a UKF set without having DJ skills.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I understand how it works, but I've never used a controller or like CDJs or whatever. But yeah, it's funny. Now that I think of it, I just had 3 weeks, and I had to learn myself, to use Serato and to cue everything, and to understand how to cue and bring in and use the EQs or whatever. And I
Yeah.
just had to teach myself how to do it really quickly. I'm gonna be honest. My learning curve in terms of DJing has been quite steep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did play UK Future Visions, and then the next year, a few months later down the line, I had to play on CDJs.
Yeah.
Luckily, Yasmin had her decibel sessions, so I was invited to play at decibel sessions. So that's the first time I used CDJs.
Was that in at the studio?
No, I think that was at Vinyl Cafe.
Okay.
So she did like a gig,
Yeah.
and invited me, and then of course had CDJs. So I had the opportunity to play around the CDJs.
Okay.
And then
At the gig. At
yes,
the gig, learning how to use them.
yes, and then Tanujiga from DJ Academy, he was quite gracious enough to lend his place to practice a little bit.
Yeah.
And then of course Tariq as well from Vinyl Cafe. So I had to give huge shouts for these guys to giving me the space to record, and in certain cases they gave me discounts as well. So
Right.
really lovely guys.
Yeah.
I can't recommend them enough if you want to do something with them. Tariq of course moved out of the country. He's in Australia, but Tanujiga is here. So if you guys want to go and connect with them, it's a great place. So
I love that some of the top comments on that UKF video is like, oh, here you go. Like, just someone shows that you don't need 5,000 pounds worth of equipment.
I'm still-
Little do they know that you just learned how to use the equipment
I'm
that you
still
have.
in that mindset, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need too much because,
Yeah.
Noisia, one of the guys from Noisia, I think it's Nick if I'm not mistaken, he uses a launch pad and one of those, the mixer strips. Have you seen like the strip?
Yeah, oh, just that little touring
Exactly.
thing, right?
I think it's by
Mix Tour or something?
Tractor.
Yeah,
It's by Tractor. These small controllers. That's what he uses.
Live.
And yeah, he's one of the Noisia members. So if Noisia can do it, why not others? And I played one set by using my Launchpad as well. It's actually on my YouTube. So I just chopped all the tunes that I wanted to play and arranged them on the Launchpad, and I just triggered them and used the faders on my Launch Control XL.
Yeah.
And then I started using the CDJs, and in April, Printworks closing weekend, 1 month later. So that was when I started using 3 CDJs.
That was your first time using 3?
3, yeah. So I started playing with 3 CDJs for the first time at Printworks. And the first time that I played with 3 was also at Printworks. I didn't get the chance to practice before.
And you're there with no sleep.
Yes, I had to, learn myself. Like I was rehearsing the set constantly with my mouse and, what do you call the DJ software? Record box, yeah.
So like simulating.
Exactly, simulating the movements and everything. And then, I went and played it. Yeah, it was quite nerve-wracking. But now I'm used to it. I don't need to practice on CDJs. I can just arrange the set list on record box or whatever, then I can just go and play. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, CDJs is still this like barrier that I haven't crossed through, because I also came from this like rogue like starting to DJ on an iPad. Like I started DJing because there was that DJ Pro app that plugged into Spotify, and I was like running a hostel at the time, and then fumbled my way into becoming this DOTS resident.
Yes.
controlling from an iPad.
Yes, that's sick.
Before I even had a laptop, then
if you've done all of that, navigating to the CDJs would be much more easy, because it's so easy.
So, yeah.
It's so easy.
Okay.
I mean, playing with a Launchpad is much more difficult, especially if there's no way where you can sync those tunes, and you have to be very precise, and there's no way you can adjust. But if you're playing on CDJs, if you're playing on CDJs, you can use the jog wheel and line everything up together. It's very easy.
So XDJs is currently my comfort zone, and I took part in this whole cheesy competition thing in Australia because it included free training on a RX3.
Exactly.
But I guess the thing it's I don't know, like a Cyclops third eye. Like I just got to get used to looking at the two different displays and how they're synced up and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and the tech really is great right now. You have the CDJ 3000s, which feels so seamlessly integrated. The tech is great. And few people don't necessarily like them, but in my personal experience, I love them. They're pretty great to play at.
Right.
But you should be able to navigate really easily if you've done the hard way already.
Right. So you describe yourself as someone who's not great at compliments, but I feel like you're pretty great under pressure. Because there's a lot of these occasions.
I would say so, yes. I think I'm driven in situations where I'm put under pressure.
Yeah.
I think it comes with my background at home. Our parents are quite strict, and they wanted us to focus on studies, and so that background kind of gave me like a certain what can I say, a drive. So that, whichever the thing that I'm going to do it the best way I can. So that's the drive that was instilled on me when I was a kid. And I think I've taken that everywhere I went. Even with music, I've been driven, I just didn't just make music. I made sure that everything was promoted properly.
Yeah.
I established, relationships with labels or whatever. So, yeah, I've always been driven. So I don't necessarily think that I would get rid of that quality.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit too extreme at this point, because my wife reminds me to, celebrate certain achievements.
Smell the roses.
Exactly. But yeah, I've always been the kind of person where when I achieve a certain thing, okay, then I question myself, okay, now this is done, what's next? So I've been that constantly.
Right.
That's actually what drove me to where I am right now. Constantly pushing myself in terms of being an artist and looking for opportunities, or using opportunities to get into other opportunities. So it's being like a snowball. But yeah, that's that applied for DJing as well. I wanted to, get good at it as soon as possible, and I just, picked the controller, and right now I feel comfortable. And I think I will stick to 3 DJs because, I'm into like the soulful and the
Right.
deep and melodic side of drum and bass. I don't necessarily have to do like, all
360
sorts of,
session.
no, that's not me.
Yeah.
I'm not like the choppy kind of person or, doing these weird quirks on
Triple drops.
no, that's not me. I do double drops.
Yeah.
The way that I play is there's always 2 tunes mixed at any given time. So that's
Right.
kind of like how I play. I
so
make
that
the
suits the
music
third.
blend, all is blended together. And the tunes that I play complement with each other. So it's kind of like a journey, everything is mixed and properly executed. But I'm not the triple, quadruple drop kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'll change the way that I play either. I just want to curate like a feeling and like a journey. So that's me.
Yeah. I feel like we see these kind of comic teasing reels talking about like, when the DJ realizes the camera is on, and suddenly it's like
That's what
all
I
these
mean.
like random button touches just to look
Exactly.
like you're doing something.
Yeah.
But when you've been a producer and you've created the thing,
I know what's up.
you've done your 20 hours of work for that one tune,
yeah.
right?
Exactly.
You've put in the yards, so here it's a different
Exactly.
energy when you've
Yeah.
that
And
producer.
being a producer first gave me a really great, background in terms of DJing. I understand the frequencies well. So it wasn't easy, to understand that when you bring up one tune, you need to make sure that you switch off the low end of the other tune. So that was natural to me.
Right.
I didn't have to learn that.
Right.
Because I understand how the sonics work. If both of the songs have low end at the same time, it's gonna clash and it's gonna sound like shit. So I had that. I know that it's instilled in me as a producer. So that kind of gave me like a better introduction to DJing, which is also why I think I managed to catch everything really quickly. Because I know production. Production is much more complicated than DJing.
Yeah.
So I knew what needs to be done when I'm a DJ. So that transition kind of gave me a very quick introduction to DJing. But if it's the other way around, it's going to be difficult. Most of the DJs find it a little bit difficult getting into production.
Yes.
I've seen that with a few friends of mine as well. They've been finding it a little bit difficult navigating into production.
Yeah.
But there have been a few people who have done that as well. But it's difficult. It's a long way because you have to look at your DJ career as well, and then at the same time you need to learn production. But how do you find time to learn production? But when you're a producer, you can find time to
Learn
learn
DJing.
DJing because it's natural.
Yeah.
It's just making sure. Like I have friends, Mike is for example. He's not a performer, but he knows how to DJ because he's a great producer. He can DJ any given time.
Right.
So that's that interchangeable aspects of who we are first paves a long way as well. That's probably why I learned DJing really quickly.
Right. So being part of your first time playing Printworks, being playing the closing weekend,
Yeah.
so first and last gig there was one milestone, and a significant place with a lot of history and a lot of great folks on the lineup to be opening for. That's one thing, right? But then there's Let It Roll.
Yeah.
There's like a poster with anyone you can think of in
that lineup.
D&B legendary history is on this poster.
Yeah.
You're prepping for a set. You're going to be playing for 4,500 people. What's going through your mind then?
I was excited. I wasn't scared.
Right.
After I played Printworks, it gave me the reassurance that I can do this without having to worry too much. And it was professionally recorded as well.
Yeah.
So that added pressure was there.
Right.
No space for mistakes whatsoever. So, that kind of hardened my, my skin or whatever.
Four deck system, but you're still using 3?
I'm still using 3, yeah.
Yeah.
So that gave me the confidence when I was walking into my summer gigs. I played Liquid City. I played the main stage. There was about 4,000 people there.
Okay,
I didn't
right.
feel scared.
Yeah.
I didn't feel scared at all. I had a blast. And I was playing with Linguistics, who's the MC, who was the MC for Friction. I think he still is the MC for Friction. So I played with linguistics, and yeah, that was a great gig, and I didn't feel scared. It was a sea of people,
Yeah.
but didn't feel nerves at all. And when I was walking into a Let It Roll, I knew it was gonna be fun, and the atmosphere was great. Um, and we landed one day prior to the festival as well, so we went around Czech, Prague, and it was quite lovely. It's a really great city. So the nerves were on the sides, and yeah, I just went and played. Didn't think too much. I mean, you get that normal amount of nerves, but Printworks was, oh god, what is this? It's
The
quite
first big one, was it?
exactly. It was the first
And what a big
major
one.
exactly. So it was the first major thing, and then when you walk through those press halls, it looks like it's quite overwhelming. Really,
The architecture of the
yeah,
place.
exactly. It's quite dark,
Yeah.
and
And are you also like up high,
it's
away
very
from the dance
yeah,
floor?
it's very up high
Right.
from the dance floor. And yeah, it was quite overwhelming, but once I did that, it gave me the confidence. Now I'm not too scared to play. I've played a few high profile gigs since then. Played at Document Bristol, which was again 4,000 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Didn't feel scared.
Right.
Right now I think I'm much more comfortable, and I trust my selections as well.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit different. I'm a bit more percussive than the usual drum and bass DJ.
Yeah.
A little bit more polyrhythmic. I love playing polyrhythmic music. Guys like Posai, for example, maybe an odd new noisier tune here and there. So a little bit different in terms of the texture of music, and a little bit heavy, a little bit deep. So that's who I am, and I'm comfortable with the direction that I've chosen as a DJ. So yeah, I'm not nervous anymore. You get like the usual, the nerves right before a gig, but not scared to an extent where you will probably vomit or you need to take a dump or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's great, and really lovely to see most of the promoters giving me the space to do what I do. They've never, there hasn't been any requests to change the way that I play. Just a few comments here and there saying that oh, he's deeper and darker than usual. That's it. That's it really. But that gives them the overview in terms of where to place me next.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm in a situation where I'm willing to play anywhere and everywhere. When I move to the UK, that's going to be my contribution to the scene. That helped me to be in a position where me and my wife are now going to live there. So
Yeah.
I have a huge amount of respect for the scene in the UK. So I'm going to be a role model for the producers in this region, and of course to be as much as I can as a contributor to the UK scene. So that's kind of like where I am right now. But all of those experiences kind of grafted me to be where I'm in this position. Yeah.
So as a selector, you can choose to be more on the familiar side, or you can sort of showcase and kind of educate your audiences.
Educator,
and you
yes,
find
that's me.
yourself much more so on the
Educational.
latter side.
Yes.
How do you go about preparing for a set?
So I don't necessarily play tunes which might get played by other producers.
Yeah.
I completely avoid them. And I choose tunes which are, when someone asks, what the hell is that? So that's what I do.
Yeah.
I choose tunes which will pop off, but at the same time, not commercial enough for the majority to grasp.
Right.
That's what I do.
Right.
And even with the labels that I'm exposed to, the places where I get music from all the major labels as of now.
Yeah.
Like you name one major label, even from Spinning Records, I get demos.
Okay.
Like Ninja Tune or whatever, or like the biggest labels in the world, I get the demos easily. Even from like Sony Music or Ultra Music, I still get those promos. But there are a few labels that I adore who are like much more underground and a little bit low key, but really great in terms of the music that they push, and that's what I play. I play those tunes which are educational, at the same time give a bit of an indication to the listener that there's a whole other side of music which are really great. It just doesn't get played on big stages. At Document, I think I opened for graphics and Andromedic. So I was opening for graphics and Andromedic, and those guys are dance floor musicians, but I played like a really deep and dark set, and it was well received. People were jumping around, dancing. Sometimes they don't necessarily know what they like until they hear something. And also I'm comfortable, shifting the mood as well. If I feel as if, I might probably have to let go of this tune because it's a little bit too low key, I need something to jump up, I can just choose something and play. So I'm in a position where I can read the audience as well. When I started, it wasn't the case. I was much more focused on the set list,
Yeah.
because
Head, head down.
you're preparing yourself, and you want to execute it the way that you learn.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm much more relaxed and free flowing, and I can just play whatever I want, basically. To curate a vibe, you start with a certain key and then you navigate with the song. So I can do that now.
Yeah.
And
Clocking up those hours of stage
yes, and of course, the opportunities that I got in Sri Lanka gave me the ample playing grounds to learn that. When I was playing tracks, I didn't prepare. I just walked in and I just played whatever I want. So all of those experiences and exposures gave me, enough guidance to be able to curate the crowd and then play for the crowd. So yeah, it's fun, and of course, it also depends on where you play as well. Bristol is much more underground.
Yeah.
And of course you can play other genres as well, but Bristol is known for gritty, deep, moody music. London is great for everything. You can play anything you want. When you move up north, it gets a little bit more soulful, deep, darker again.
Right.
So it depends on places that you play as well. And at the same time, it also depends on the lineups, but I don't really look at the lineups. I just do what I do, and the promoters know that as well, and they've given me the luxury of being myself as well. Yeah.
So you've produced about 100 tunes, and maybe about 30 of them have been released. Is
about 100-ish. I'm at 105 as of now,
Right.
but I think I've released about 40 at this point.
40 this one? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And you kind of consider them like training, like laps.
Yeah.
Laps in the...
You've done your homework.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I do. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no rule forcing you to release everything you make.
Yeah.
That's a wrong conception. I've seen producers, especially the young ones, putting out everything that they make. That's all right. You need to put yourself out there, but as and when you progress, as and when you create a bit of momentum, you don't necessarily have to release everything that you make. And in certain cases, certain songs that you make will act as a training ground for the preceding songs to be better. So yeah, I don't necessarily release everything, and I mean I can self-release if I want to. I'm in a position to get myself a nice publishing deal or whatever. But I don't want to do it because the labels act as an A&R, and they curate everything that I do. So I think I need that input at least for another couple of years or maybe more. Who knows? And that's why the music which is released are really great, or it means something, or has helped me to be where I am right now.
Yeah.
Because of that whole aspect of A&R and that input which was given by the label heads.
Right.
Even now I'm in like multiple A&R conversations with regards to releases which are coming next year. So you need that input, especially if you're from a different background. Now I'm not born and bred into drum and bass. I was introduced to it way after my 20s. So when you're working with that industry, it helps when you have those kind of interactions and a bit of guidance, especially in terms of a producing standpoint. But these labels are great, they don't necessarily force you to do something, and you can always, get into a conversation and negotiate in terms of, maybe the length or whatever, or the introduction or the breakdown or whatever. So
Yeah.
there's room for that communication as well. Just being on a lucky position, I would say. And certain labels just give you the autonomy. You just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
If we like the tune, we get it.
Yeah.
Labels like UK, for that matter, have given us so much of freedom, and that has given us, the podium to be ourselves and push like a very different sound. So it's just, a bit of luck as well, getting introduced to these great people that I get to work with.
I love this part of your story because when you're just starting out on a creative journey, you'll have like millions of questions. You're like, oh, like so much overthinking,
Exactly.
like what do I do? And sometimes I like to think about it. It's like, just make 100 things.
Yeah.
And then you'll know the answers to most of those questions.
Exactly, because you're going to get good at it eventually, When you keep making tunes, you're always going to make better music tomorrow.
Yeah.
And you're always going to make better music the day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
In comparison to what you make tomorrow. So that's my mindset. And as much as you make music, you will get good at it. And this is something I tell my students as well.
Yes.
Don't be too emotionally attached to what you make, because you're going to make better music tomorrow. But you need to make them in quantities, to make as much as music as possible, so that you go through that entire spectrum of starting a tune and finishing it. Because there's so much of hours that goes behind a tune, and if you don't have that discipline, if you don't have that artistic vision, so that you can see through a song from the introduction to the end,
Yes.
you can't be a musician, you can't make music. So to get good at discipline and to be able to sit in one place, focus and convert the idea that you have in your head into a piece of music, you should be able to go through that entire process. So yeah, that counts as practice. So
Yes.
I've made 60 tunes so that I can release 40 great tunes. I think I've created this mindset where if I start a tune, I finish it.
Right.
Regardless of whether it's a great tune or a bad tune.
Yes.
I might feel as if, this might not go anywhere,
You follow the process.
but I still finish it.
Yeah.
So I have maybe about 3-4 tunes which didn't necessarily happen, that I let go, but everything else was finished.
Right.
Yeah, everything else was finished, properly finished.
Right.
So yeah, that's basically what I think in terms of going through that whole process.
It's such a great, disciplined
Exactly,
approach.
yeah.
And a lot of times we think, I'm not feeling like it today, or I need some inspiration, but it's get in the lab, do the reps.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't feel inspired, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Just focus on something else.
Yeah.
If you have writer's block, just go somewhere, go to have a coffee or whatever, or just don't do anything for a few months.
Go out to nature and
Exactly.
get that energy again.
Yeah, I do that as well. I just binge watch TV series.
Yeah.
I just watch a movie, or
Yeah.
go somewhere or read a book or whatever, or just do something or anything which is not music. And I play video games. So then I'll get to a position where I would feel as if I really need to make something. That burning desire is there, and you get so much of ideas. So that's when I come back to making music. There are so much of periods where I just don't do anything.
Yeah.
Because I don't necessarily feel like it.
It's part of that balance,
exactly.
right?
That's all right. You need to take that time. I mean, we need to understand that music making is not a race.
Yes.
Because most of the people have fallen into that rat race category, that they always have to keep something coming. Every month they have release, but that's not me.
When can I play Tomorrowland?
Exactly. So that's not me. I mean, if there's something which is going to happen, it will happen eventually. But
Yeah.
I want to be a better musician. I want to make good music, not
Yeah.
just cookie cutter music that can just be released or whatever. So until I can get to that stage, I'm going to keep on trying, and taking breaks is also a part of that process. If not, it's just going to sound fake, and you're just making music for the sake of making music.
Yeah.
But like I told you, I'm a serious music maker, so I need to feel something to make music. So if that feeling is not there anymore, if I feel constricted, or if there's anything which is going to prevent me from being myself, I'm just taking my time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So this approach, this vision, last year had DJ Mag calling you the one to watch.
Yes.
So next year, what are we looking for?
I think I've hit all of those places, Mix Mag, Breakthrough DJs list, DJ Mag wants to watch, and Drum and Bass Arena nominations, all of that. So I don't know. I've never actively looked for any of that. So how DJ Mag happened was I released my first EP, and Grant, who does A&R for Goldfat, he's friends with one of the editorials. So he just sent my EP, and then these guys were interested, and then that's how I got my first ever feature. And then eventually, we became friends, and then he saw what I was doing, and I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask any of it. I haven't spent a cent for music marketing. I don't have money. I'm not from a privileged background either, and I never had money to invest on music making, which I should do. I should do it, but it's just that I can't afford.
Yeah.
So I'm never paid to any of these music outlets, media outlets. It's just that my music spoke for itself.
Yeah.
So yeah, and people have this wrong perception that you need to have money to get yourself featured or whatever. That's not the case. They are always in the lookout for good musicians. DJ Mag, Mix Mag, all of these people are looking into people who are making waves, and they feature them for free. So yeah, that's how all of this happened, to be honest. Everything started with music, and yeah, and eventually got into those conversations, and they were gracious enough to feature me on the platforms. And I think I'm the first person to be featured on DJ Mag from the entire island. I'm on the Printable magazine twice now, so they did a huge feature on me when I got the Once to Watch nod, and got to do like a guest mix for BBC Radio 1.
Yeah.
And so far I've done like a couple of mixes for BBC Radio 1 on the drum and bass show, as well as on the BBC Radio 1 dance side of things. So yeah, all of these were quite organic. I released good music, and I used the music to be in a position where I can speak to people, and that kind of gave me like all of those really great opportunities. It should always start with the music. That's what I believe. And one of my great mentors is obviously Grant from Goldfat, Grant Porter. So he does A&R, and he always tells me, if your music is not good enough, that's it. You always have to have good music to look into other things.
Yeah.
So that's what I believe. I need to make good music. Now, last year I took a huge break because I didn't feel. Yeah, I felt stagnated in terms of my artistic standpoint, and the way that I wanted to music was not the way that I was doing as of yet. Then I just I put myself under so much of emotional, and it was stressful, but I had to go through that journey for me to elevate myself to the next level. So yeah, I've always pushed myself in terms of a musical standpoint, and I will continue to do so into the future as well. Being inspired or the type of music that I'm exposed to, I might get into like other niches and try to incorporate that into drum and bass. So right now I'm in like an alternative neo soul, R&B, jazzy, a bit of South Asian kind of an integration as of now. So it changes, it keeps on changing. So we never know. I don't know what I'm going to make into, let's say, the next 5 years. But right now I have created myself like a nice direction in terms of where I want to go, and that keeps changing. That honestly keeps changing all the time, and I believe that my purpose is for me to be the best version of an artist as much as possible. My father is a musician, and
All right.
yeah, he had to later on give up his musical career so that we are fed and put through schooling and all of that. So he had to sacrifice his dreams and intentions. But I want to I want to let him see the things that I do, and he can live his dream through me. So my vision is to be the best artist as much as I can. That's the number one policy. No marketing gimmicks can get me that. No paid social media reach can get me that. My music can get me that. So I'm always focused on the music making aspect, and everything else is basically things that gets collected as a result of the music. So I don't think I'll change, and I've been in a position to advise the next generation to be the same as well, which is very important, because right now what we see on media is not the reality. Everything is cookie cutter products that we see on the mainstream media, which is not the case in reality when it comes to serious music. So I want my students to see that as well, and I teach them in terms of my experiences and things that I've seen, things that I've gone through, and the reality of the industry. So yeah, that's one of our responsibilities, the way that I feel.
Well, it's a beautiful vision, especially continuing the legacy and living the dream for your father.
Exactly. I mean, he doesn't necessarily understand electronic music too much, but he's well over into like the classical side of music. He almost finished Visharada as well. So that kind of gave me my musical roots in terms of understanding the classical aspects of music, and then at the same time, he helped me to figure out what I want to do as well. So sometimes he jokingly says, "Oh, what is this noise?" But right now he's very supportive in terms of what I do. And my mom doesn't understand any of it. She's a great artist, but she's not musically gifted.
Right.
She sometimes questions me and asks, "What is this helicopter noise?" But she now knows that what I do is important for the sake of the Sri Lankan brand of music, because I'm in a position to push this even further. So she understands that, with all the media attention and the tours that I've done, she sees what I do is important. And they gave me the blessing to shift to music as well once they started understanding that what I do is a little bit different.
Right.
I'm not going to call it special, but it's a bit different. So, and that different is needed to the Sri Lankan or the South Asian market. So that's how I convinced them to see sense. So yeah.
Well, now you can share with your mother that this helicopter noise is taking you to the UK.
Yeah, they know it.
Permanently.
They know it. I tell her now. Yeah.
I want to thank you so much for coming on Creative Tales today. IYRE.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. And wishing you all the best. And hopefully you'll be in a position to continue this, because this is essential in terms of grafting the next generation. So thank you.
Thank you so much.